That was hard, man.
I'm glad I got a new sofa.
Legitimately, there was one point there where, like, I think I nearly fell asleep. If you watch those videos back, I swear, I think I felt myself drifting off at one point. It was probably during that bloody happy one.
It was hard to keep myself like erect during it. I
Fuck
kept
you,
like
man.
doubling over.
I just did the musical equivalent of thumbing it in.
Don't worry, love. It'll get hard once it gets in there.
Spoiler alert, it never does.
Lads, we've all been there. God loves a trier.
Oh, fuck me.
Just know to do. If you're ever in that position where you're too drunk and you have to thumb it in, when you're thumbing it in, just like take your dick out, leave your thumb in.
Yes. I'm trying not to throw up here. Please stop talking about that.
Hi, welcome to Mixed Casting Couch Session. This is an extra little podcast again because we're doing these special ones during the week now with a special guest, and they're going public straight away. So we thought we'd do a couple of extra ones here, just be half-hour ones for the patrons. So you get to listen to twice as much shite. If you haven't seen yet, check the links. You guys will see the video for the one that we did with Dan Gregory and his infamous wisdom. He was a bad bastard when he was younger.
My
the
head
stories
was banging after that. Just laughing.
Well, the stories he was telling us. It's like, you are such a bad bastard. You're younger. I never got up to any of that sort of stuff.
Has Dan ever done time? I feel like he should have.
I think he's getting punished with time for his bad deeds, you know. Yeah, but it was good crack. We were talking to Acoustic Dan and doing all his stuff. I'm going to shift this camera over very much slightly towards you there. Get you in
here
frame,
it is.
mate. That's
Money
it.
shot right there.
That's it.
Um,
We're
It was good. The problem is,
drinking
like, I
liquid
watched the start of that podcast back, and you know the problem was, it was so funny before we started recording that when we started recording, I couldn't speak when I tried to talk about the one with the 3 tits from Red Dwarf. But what I meant was Total Recall. But
Chance titty.
I just oh.
Here, one of the weird things. This is very strange. You sort of play it off. The woman with the 3 titties, because 3 titties, you're focusing on the 3 titties and blah 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 in the film. But as I was editing her, because I was having to zoom in and come out and do this and all the other, you forget how good looking she actually was.
Oh, very
minus
attractive.
the 3 tits, obviously. Like normal sets of tits would be. Did you see? I read a thing. It was like a brief article saying about how she was so embarrassed after playing that role of woman with 3 tits, and I was like, how dare they come up to you and force a script into your hand? How dare you? How dare they force you to audition for that?
Imagine
part?
being pigeonholed in that role. Some people get Harry Potter, others get 3 tits.
I was just thinking, like, that would have been a funny one where you're like,
Here's your door.
there we go. No, it's the mailman. He sticks it through.
You
He
always
lets it-
delivers.
He lets it dangle.
He's not the courier. Sometimes delivers.
You know, I just thinking about your woman. Only you said about her being typecast. I was like, I'm just like, I got the part on Happy Days as a cameo. I got what do they want you to do?
How did she make the jukebox work?
They want me to play that. Did you ever see those clackers you get for the office? Those
Yeah.
perpetual motion things. That's her baps.
Anyway,
So,
you
yeah.
talk about breasts far too much on this.
They're very nice. They're supple. There was, see, when I worked in Donnell Mill, right? They had this pillow, and I called it the tit pillow, right? Because it was made of pure silicon. This fucking pillow, and it was just, mate, I swear to fuck. See, if you're in a pillow fight and somebody walked this out, it would break your fucking neck if you get smacked in the face with. But this thing was like, I was like, that's like sleeping on a massive tit.
Yeah.
It's just this big
Here,
stuff.
Talk about hitting somebody, right? It's a true story. So, my parents are very old-fashioned when it comes to their tea. Okay? You see, if you put a tea bag in a cup and you fill it up with hot water, they'll burn you at the stake. Right? It has to be, you boil a kettle, you put the tea bags in the teapot, because apparently it gets hotter in the teapot when we all know that water, once it gets to 100 degrees, turns into gas.
Yeah,
That's what
it
happens,
starts
right?
cooling as well.
I went to Mrs. McGorian's chemistry class in Somalia. That's the one thing I took from that class. So anyway, they're really old-fashioned. But no, it's chemistry, isn't it?
No,
It's
so, but
chemistry.
you didn't pay. You went to science and only took away water turns to gas after 100 degrees.
Yeah. I still can't sing the Elements song, but
Fuck.
So anyway, so they're very old-fashioned about their tea, and they like it done in the teapot, and to the point of I'm not allowed to make tea. My brother's not allowed to. No one's allowed to make them tea because nobody does it right.
That's great. I would love.
No, it's great.
Go, you're never allowed to make me.
But here's the thing. So here's the thing.
Fuck.
Their teapot is ancient. Like, I mean, I think they've had it at least a decade, and it looks it. It's been battered, right? It's
a metal teapot?
It's a metal teapot.
Old school.
I've been complaining for months like, that it's leaking and stuff like that there. So my parents are notoriously hard to buy for Christmas. So I was like, and get them a new teapot for Christmas. Do you know how hard it is to find a fucking teapot that you can put on a stove? You can get serving teapots. You know the wee stuff like you get on the airplanes or they're no problem, but they're flimsy as shit. An actual stove or a hob teapot is so hard to find. I checked everywhere. I even contacted like old suppliers from when I worked in hospitality, and it was like, it'll cost you 70 quid. I'm like, fuck, 70 quid for a teapot. So anyway, long story short, shout out the chef at the Bark and Dog. Sent me a message and he went, there's a hardware store at the top of the Crumlin Road. You should go in there. True enough, I went in, and I walked in. And I said to the man, he says, how can I help you? I said, have you any teapots that if you hit someone in the side of the head with, that it would cause them damage?
How you're getting the hit.
And he went, I have the very thing. Right? And fair enough, it was there, and it was 32 quid or something, and he sold it to me for 30. Fair play to him.
Should have bought two. Fuck
no, but well, not one. So because like you could just tell, I was like, this is what they'll want. So fair enough. I went, instead of saving it for Christmas Day, they're always whinging about. I went, here, there you go. Merry Christmas. There's your teapot. And she went, how much was it? And I says, it was 30 quid. And I was like, she screamed at me. She said, why you spend £30 on a teapot? I was like, because that's what the cost, woman. And she was like, I've never spent £30 on a teapot. I was like, but to be fair, the last time you bought a teapot, shillings were still being used.
That'll be 3 threepenny bits.
That's it. But she was like, so how did you? And I told her what had happened. I said, I went into the shop and I went up to the guy and I went, have you any teapots that if you hit someone in the side of the head with to cause a damage? She went, you can't talk to people like that. I went, no, you can, because the way he replied to me, I was like, there's a salesman who knows what he's talking about. Because he even said himself, he was like, you got to stew the tea, you know. He was like Emmons. I was like, clearly not a Protestant, because apparently Protestants make their tea in a cup. They don't use teapots. Apparently they pronounce their H's differently. Their eyes are closer together, and they make their tea in a cup. Apparently, that's the defining.
Is that why they all look like E.T.?
Oh, they don't believe Mary was a virgin either. They don't believe in the Immaculate Conception.
She's got an old bucklick.
Oh, aye.
But that implies, if they don't believe in the Immaculate Conception, that implies that God came down and fucked Mary. Like, give her a good old hiding. Like, and then you sort of...
Isn't that why women always cry out, oh God, during sex?
I've never heard that myself.
That's just a theory I have.
No, well, they don't cry it out.
I've never heard them cry it out.
The more like go...
It's usually, get the fuck, what are you doing here?
Oh God. Do we, you know? My phone's going here. Who the fuck's this? It's my brother.
Answer it.
No, I had to ghost him there.
You should have answered it. It's like, Connor, I'm working.
No, that's about the height of it. Our interaction. He rings and I fucking flick the switch.
Your Connor's a melt, isn't he?
He's not too
we can say that on here. He'd have to pay to hear it.
He's not too bad now. He's calm.
He has melt. That's more his girlfriend's melted him.
Well, that's always the way. A good woman. When you get a good woman, you'll be fucking mellow instead of you're all out stealing cars every fucking night.
I had a good woman. Let her go.
Was it Bill Hicks says? He says it'll take a real special woman for me to settle down. Or like 7 regular ones.
That was a
Billy
Collins like talking about he's like, I don't understand suicide bombers. Why do you want to go to heaven and be like have 57 virgins waiting on you? He says, give me one fire breathing whore, that's all I want.
It's about knows their way around a knob,
that's it. You know, that's it.
Don't know what gas mark to turn that knob to.
Good hell.
The aye, fucking.
It always comes back to sex. So I'm just checking my phone here for today.
Because all we ever fucking think about. Really.
Oh, here Xbox Game Pass. I knew that anyway. Yeah, I did.
Fucking share that information with a classmate. You can't just say Xbox Game
Pass. Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, I knew that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, I knew you knew it. So, aye.
So yeah,
why do people play PlayStations? I hate PlayStations.
Do you know what's really really funny? I don't know what the fuck was up with my TV, right? So I got a Samsung Smart TV, and so once you connect your Xbox and all up, there's no shit. It like the TV dials it in perfectly and all does it all for you and everything. So whenever you're going through, all my things are at the bottom. So you've got like Xbox, TV, Virgin, fucking all. So you flick down, you flick down, select which one you want. And whenever you go down to each icon, like so, if you go to the if you go to Virgin, up will come up. No, like above it, a wee sub menu will come up, like saying TV channels, fucking blah blah blah, whatever you want to select, and the same for all the other things. See above the Xbox, when you go over to the Xbox to select it, it comes up on average for PlayStation. I was like, that's a bit fucking strange. Do they want me to have both? I can't play a PlayStation anymore. I just can't. Even the controllers for Xbox are too small for my hands.
Once I moved to the Xbox, I couldn't go back.
No, that's fucking. Another thing is, have you noticed all the PlayStation controllers are getting very similar to the Xbox ones? Remember the PS1 controller won all sorts of awards for design and shit. Yeah. When it first came out, it was innovative, but then Xbox came out and it's more like a frisbee of a fucking controller.
Yeah.
I could never go back to fucking playing.
No.
But the thing is,
I would happily sit and play PlayStation 1 right now. I have no problem doing that, but I would not go to the equivalent of what console I'm on now. I'm like, no, I'm alright.
There's no point.
Plus, the thing is, I always feel like an Xbox is more like your entertainment center. It's like it's more. I think you don't need anything else.
Once you've got the Game Pass and you've saved everything on your Xbox Cloud, they've got you. Like, you're not going to go, well, sure, fuck all that, now I'll go to PlayStation now. You're not going to do that, really. But then I also see all these fucking nerds on the forums saying about, oh, the Xbox can do this, and it can do that, and it can do this, and the PlayStation can do that, and can do this, and it's Blu-ray. It's like, nobody really gives a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Pro Evo's Pro Evo. Fucking Call of Duty's Call of Duty.
If you play FIFA,
a couple of extra frames per second is not going to fucking make me any better.
I know. Do you know what? See people who play FIFA instead of Pro Evo, they're like that bitch I talked about on Wednesday who's going, I need words. I can't listen to instrumental music. I can't read books. I have to watch a film. They're the same type of people. I hate those people. She
couldn't read, and that was just it. She couldn't read. I tend to find people that just don't have imagination of any description. They can't like go, oh, that's...
They're the type of people who've never had an orgasm. Because they can't imagine somebody else.
Okay, that's very. If you're one of those people, write in. Jim will fix it over here. Fucking.
Sorry, it's just peaked there for me screaming. I wasn't expecting a laugh today because that's just the elephant in the room. I'm hanging like a Chinese bat.
You seem very angry.
Right, no, it is right.
You need to go home, hold your balls in one hand tight, and pound one out.
One of our patrons, Clara, your husband, and I have a lot to answer for.
A lot to explain.
9% stouts. What was I thinking?
See, man, this is like
Christ. Do you know what, mate? Only had about 5 or 6.
I get up every morning, feel like I'm hungover, and I haven't touched the drink. So
today's been a struggle doing the videos. Was, oh my god.
So before we started to do this will be a quick one today because obviously Mick's hoping in a shite that you wouldn't believe. But we were doing some recordings today for putting out over the next couple of weeks. And we had to do Be Happy 3 times.
Because you forgot you didn't save the first time.
No, it was more than 3 times. We had to do it by the time we were stopping and doing it. And by the end, we were not happy with that song.
I'm looking forward to those videos coming out and just watch for the point where I mentally break.
I'll just zoom in on your face on those bits. So yeah,
I know it was a good night. It was our like Christmas party, because we have what our friends call the Mick and Owen Travel Club.
Oh, that's right.
Because we
just go away and buck hooters.
We go.
Getting everybody in trouble here. Because I hear that's not what you told me. You don't even know what a football is when you go to.
No, because we would like we're well versed in the world of food. So we like to go to London, go to nice restaurants. That's what we do.
Which city has the best glory hole? That's the real journalism you need to be focused on. Your school. They've cushioned the edge of the wall so we can,
It was right by the tech department, so it was well sanded.
Everything's emery. Emery board, everything.
But anyway, I know. So, right, we used to go, right, lads, let's go away for a weekend, like to all the lads, and then they'd all have their excuses as to why they couldn't go. And we got fed up. So we're like, right, we're going. So we go to Germany for a weekend, or we go to London midweek or whatever, because he owns a pizza restaurant. I was a musician, so like going away on a Monday to a Wednesday was a fine thing.
It was the weekend, realistically.
Exactly. So, and it was like, and his wife would go away with her sisters and do the same thing. So it was like, because Belfast is shite. I know it's got 2 Michelin stars. One of them was bought, but we'll not get into that.
Oh, scandal! Here. Scandal in the. He didn't bone that fish by himself.
But anyway, we would go away, and then so it just became this running joke. Oh, Mick and Owen's Travel Club, and then then we go, right, lads, want to go this football match. No, can't go. And then we go. So then we got fed up of asking. So we'd start going places by ourselves without asking anybody. And they'd be like, oh, Mykonos Travel Club. So we were like, fuck yous. We got t-shirts done, stickers, patches, everything, a proper logo, and it's class. And so that's what that was last night. That was the Mykonos Travel Club Christmas party. And I just like to say, Owen, I hate you because my head is fucking pounding right now.
On a side note, this fits really well into your belly button. It's really good. You can just hold this here.
No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. You'd have to disinfect the fucking things afterwards. Just buy new ones, just fuck them
anyway,
out. So here's everybody got their Christmas tree up.
Happy Christmas. Oh, we're in lockdown again. Fuck it.
Oh, what? Is that up from the 26th?
Well, hold on. When are we putting this out? Am I putting this out later?
We're putting this out at some stage, today or tomorrow. Like.
Yeah, so next week, that's it. That's it all over. And I'm like, they're like, oh, we're giving you another week. We're giving you another week to cram the shops. Mate, you know what you should have done? See, when we're all in our houses on Christmas Eve, then you should have gone, by the way, nothing's reopening again. And then, because this is what happens, the place gets bunged and it's a load of shit.
I don't care about it anymore.
I'll wear my mask. Wake me up when it's over.
I wear my mask, I wash my hands, and I don't. I know.
This is the worst case.
Put my dick in the font.
Do you know what this is like? Do you know in school, whenever one person would act the dick, and then it was like, right, the whole class is getting. This is the worst case.
It was usually me. I think that's why I'm so self-conscious about
one time I did punishment homework in primary school. That I shouldn't have, because I didn't do anything wrong, but I was made an example of. And I went home. And I did it. And my mum was like,
Nick has 4 apples.
But it was like, why? Like, she wanted to know, why are you doing punishment? What did, like, if I did something wrong, she'd bollock me. I was like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Why didn't you tell the teacher that? Oh, because I was a timid. I was not the boisterous stallion that I am now. So I
fucking Black Beauty over here.
More like fucking Tonto. So the next day, my man went into the school to the teacher and put him up against the wall. I was like, "Don't you ever give my child punishment homework again for something he didn't do?" And that turned out to be Paul McBride, who's our mate now McBride's father, who started teaching me violin. So I have a lot to thank him for. So if he can never give me that punishment homework.
Imagine how much.
I nearly said beaten.
Imagine how much better you'd be at violin though if he was allowed to shout at you without the fear of your man coming up and hitting him.
No, he still shouted. Here, he still stuck pins on the neck of the violin for you to prick your wrist on. So yeah.
we prick in your hand never hurt anybody.
No. Kids don't know they're born these days.
What's that? Right? Yeah,
That's such an old
baptism of fire. I know. Fuck's sake, you're sounding like you're ready. Kids don't even know they're born these days. Is this reality? What the fuck is this? Am I still in the womb? Where'd that Christmas tree come from?
But anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter.
Thank fuck.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Would say brass eye. Drug. Alcohol. People say alcohol's a drug. Alcohol's not a drug. It's a drink.
I know.
Let's watch that again.
What's my hangover TV going to be later? Probably what it always is. Bloopers of Friends and stuff like that.
Fuck's sake.
Just like, it's like, they're eating the trifle. It tastes like feet. They just, you can't
I wondered, is there just like a 20-minute montage video of like Rachel's nips that you can just bang one out to, because that would solve all your problems. Because you can have your wank and you can watch Friends at the same time.
I seen someone put on their Instagram, I can't remember who it was, but reiterating what you said last week about how Jennifer Aniston is probably the most beautiful woman that.
It was the most beautiful woman of our
generation. And it was a woman who said this, and I was like,
she's fucking gorgeous.
100%.
Always has been. Do you remember everybody was getting the Rachel haircut and then getting the Ross? It was about that time everybody.
That only lasted a couple of episodes as well, but it became a thing for years.
It was around about the same time as everybody's wearing those blue head jumpers. Do you remember that? Everybody wore the fucking. So I don't even know how that caught on as a fad. I just remember all these legions of wee girls running around the estate with blue head jumpers on them. Just these fucking bright neon. And everybody was like, oh, I want one of them, I want one. I was like, it's a fucking blue jumper. Can't scrap yourself. It was the same as those Adidas button-ups. Now they were good.
I did like them now.
I had we couldn't afford the good black and white pair, with the black and then the white stripes with the buttons. So I got the luminous blue with the orange stripes up the side. Looked like you were just out of Chernobyl.
Such a knacker.
Mate,
you remember when they used to be up Mona Bypass? Remember they used to live? Do they still live there?
I don't know. I'd never up there.
I'm gonna drive that way home later. I'll check.
Check.
I'll just check.
Here,
lads, he's in.
Get your fucking camera out and video yourself walking around the yard going, here, is anybody here? Fucking hills have eyes here. You're gonna, fuck's sake, I'm gonna take you and buck you. And you'd love it. You love an Earl.
Oh, stop it.
I'm a rim, butthole.
Oh.
And so you're going to do chant music, only it's all going to be about buttholes.
If The Lion King was on Television X, that's what it would have been. Do you remember the 10-minute preview? Great.
Aye. It always took me 11 minutes to finish, though. Do you know what I mean? You 10 minutes to pump it up, and then 1 minute to get it out, and then about 3 minutes to reflect on what it just done. Because there was a mirror beside
That's
me.
like, I mean, I really don't want to talk about this anymore.
Imagine catching my jizz in your mouth.
Oh, there you go.
Imagine me standing over you, Mick.
Well, here's a segue for you. Speaking of wood, just got a notification new Woodstock podcast is out. I'll be listening on the way home.
There you go.
And the title of this week's episode is Up the Pedo Pork. I love to know where that one came from. So I can't wait to get Woodsy on this. I'll be like, here's the microphone, just talk.
You just work away there, Woodsy. I'll do that.
We're just in the background.
I'll have to actually have things to talk about.
Well, there is. No, do you know what it is? Because I did say to him, it'll be an hour of you going, for fuck's sake, Mick, will you stop talking about Big Trouble in Little China? That's what it'll be.
Kurt Russell wasn't a genius.
Here, did you? I heard recently on a podcast, Frank Sinatra was asked to do the part of Die Hard, of John McClane.
He fucking wasn't.
No, he was. Do you know why?
Why?
Because Frank Sinatra owned the rights to it. It was so it's a book. Die Hard comes from a book,
okay,
and he owned the rights to the screenplay. And part of the contract was that if it was ever made into a film, he had to be asked first. But his response was, "Don't be fucking ridiculous." He was like,
I was going to say,
because it was in the 80s. By that stage, he would have been 60.
I thought he would have been dead.
No, fuck, he didn't. Sinatra didn't die in 1987.
That sounds like one of those things when you hear it. Like again, we said about like Richard O'Brien writing fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. You're like, that doesn't add up.
No, Frank Sinatra owned the rights to the book. To the book, so that if it ever
you get that, like like I want the rights to a book. Yeah, but you didn't write the book and you didn't publish the book, and you didn't. Oh no, but I just want it. It's my book now.
You go to the publisher.
But how the fuck does that work? How the fuck does if I wrote a book and I went to the publisher and fucking got them to print it and all that shit, and then somebody offered us a couple of quid for your fucking book. So.
Oh no, you still have to agree to it. It's not a case of it's mine. No, you sell it.
It's mad. It's like fucking Michael Jackson buying all the Beatles work.
Well, that's the thing is, a lot of rights are sold.
He just gets the money for it.
Yeah, but a lot of people are. Well, not anymore. He's dead.
Well, yeah. Well, no, his estate does. But do you know what funny thing? I was watching the interview with Paul McCartney and he was talking about
his victims get all the money.
His victims,
alleged victims,
allegedly. No, I was watching a thing with Paul McCartney and him and Michael Jackson were doing like a duet or something years and years ago, and Paul McCartney was saying he was talking to thing about publishing rights and stuff and all like that, and how he needs to own all the songs and all. Yep. And he said you could see Michael's. Because he says when he was younger,
he was trying to work out how much a new roller coaster would cost. I think that'd be a really good idea.
Yeah, no, just ignorant.
What was this monkey called? Bubbles.
Bubbles. Call me Bubbles.
What was he called? Was it?
I haven't got a. I don't know how to monkey. Maybe that was just his dick.
No, he did. He legit had a monkey.
No idea. But anyway, right. So let me get back to this. Right. So fucking So Paul McCartney, he was talking about when they just found about rights and all, because they were just like a young band and blah blah, and they didn't know when this happened. So basically, this publishing house owned all the Beatles, the rights to all the Beatles songs, but they had a say in it. So that for years, for decades, you never heard a Beatles song in a film or a fucking, unless it was written for a film or a advertisement, because they were like, I don't want like Revolution being in a fucking Coke can, a Coke commercial, because he says it defeats the fucking purpose of the song and it takes away from people that love the music and all.
No, I get you.
So whenever he was talking to Michael Jackson about it, Michael went, I'm going to own all your work, I'm going to own everything you have, like that there. And Paul was like, aye, whatever. I don't think he was joking about.
Impression is uncanny.
And he fucking hey, can't touch my leg.
Eddie Murphy does the best. Michael Jackson. Yeah,
but Michael Jackson bought all the rights to all the Beatles stuff, and that's why you've seen loads of it in like commercials and shit and all. So I was fucking Paul McCartney was raising at him.
Very good. Well, that's us on the 26-minute mark. I guess it's time to wrap up so you can go get your child from school, and I can go home and go and get under the covers, and I'll wake up on Monday. Wait, are we done? Is that us done for Christmas?
No, we've still got next week to do. We've got
We
John
still
Tracy at some stage. We'll do him together at some
Yo.
stage, and then we've got Gary Lutton, the wonderful Gary Lutton.
Gary, I can't wait to have Gary. Hope he brings Jordan on. That'll be a laugh.
Oh yeah.
Like Gary, bring Jordan.
And then go home, Gary. Leave Jordan here and you fuck off.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, so I check out. So thanks very much for listening to our shite. It was a lot of shite. We'll have another couple of music videos coming out in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, next week we'll have John Tracy on. Hopefully, so there's been scheduling conflicts that I didn't realize. The kids are off school and they'll be in the fucking house all day.
Gavin forgot he had kids.
I forgot I had kids to look after. So yeah, we'll get that out, and yeah, check out the one with Dan Gregory that's up now. The podcast is be on Spotify and all that shit.
Go buy a single.
Buy a single, that's it. Not a fag, not a single fag out of the pan shop.
Do you remember the days?
Single fags.
That's it.
It's the best because you used to get them just roll 2 joints out of it. One fag because
I never did that.
I never liked fag joints. I always liked backy joints. Fag joints fucking if you did it wrong because it was blow you were smoking, it just burnt all at one side and you were just left with this fucking bit of blow in a tissue. But
right, go bye.